Hello and welcome to episode 45 of Game Patrol. That's right, guys. I feel like I start every episode like this, but I just think it's so crazy that I've made it through 44 episodes, and by the end of this, a 45th episode of Game Patrol. Thanks to those who've stuck with me through this tumultuous experience. There's your word of the day, tumultuous. Look it up. Before we get started, I want to do something because this just arrived like a couple hours ago, I think, something like that. But I'm very excited. I've already this isn't like an unboxing or anything, but I just want to show off these babies. So I just got the complete series of Avatar: The Last Airbender in Steelbook, like the special limited edition, and the Legend of Korra complete series Steelbook, all that stuff. So I have all the avatars because we don't talk about the movie, and in Steelbook, and I want to show them off because they're very beautiful. So let me just move my water. Okay. So I literally left my water just like uncapped and everything, so I totally would have knocked it over if I didn't notice it. Stupid me. But yeah, so first off, we'll show off my boy Aang. So this is literally, I'm so sorry, podcast listeners. Go to YouTube this episode. Just for the beginning, like go back later. But yeah, this is my baby. Hold on, let me get this. Oof, just absolutely gorgeous. Love that. And I'm gonna take them out one at a time because my least favorite thing about this, and I am by no means a collector. I would like to be someday. Not super crazy. It would more be for video games, but also some of this stuff too. But so I don't have a lot to compare this to, but just compared to the little that I have owned in the past, it's really annoying because they made this bigger than they needed to. I think it's to protect the steelbooks from damage, so I can kind of understand it, but it's still annoying because it has like separators and it makes it a lot bigger and it doesn't look nice. And I want to just like immediately what I did when I unboxed it is I took it out and put them back in, but then there's so much extra space, so I'm forced to keep them in there and it kind of annoys me. But I can understand why it's there. But we've got book one. I'm literally gonna do like a full unboxing. But got water, got my girl Katara, like she's so good for her, just fantastic woman. I damaged them a little bit because I dropped the box immediately when I got in the house or got in the apartment. So I'm a little upset about myself for that. But the steelbooks obviously aren't damaged. But there's some bumpies on them. We got book two, Earth. My man's out here, Toph, just chilling. Oh my gosh, she's literally the best. We love her. I know canonically she's at the very least bi because she has children with it, like she marries a man. But so much gay energy. Like, Toph is the gayest person in Avatar, and I love that. She's, like, my favorite character. I love Toph. We stand Toph, but she's so gay. Just admit it. We got book 3, Fire. Got Aang. And we got just fucking Avatar State. Just goodness. Oh, so beautiful. Love that. But I love how they showcase Aang in the last one. After they show the people who trained him here, like, no Zuko love. No Zuko love. No, we got to show off Aang again on the back of this one. So that's Avatar, the complete series. Really cool. Kind of a chunky boy. But that is nothing when you get to the Legend of Korra. Look at how chunky she is. So that's because she's got an extra season. Even though there are less episodes in this show, there's another season. So it makes it look like it's a super long show, which is not what it is. But I've actually only seen this first season of Legend of Korra. I haven't seen the others. And you'd be like, why are you buying the complete series of a show you haven't even watched all the way? Everybody and their mother's been telling me to watch Legend of Korra. It gets so good and everything like that. So I bought it. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm a huge Avatar fan. I owe it to myself to do this. But we've got book 1, Air, where she's firebending because that makes sense. Air, fire. Yeah, okay. And then on the back, you've got Aang, like, mind melding with Korra. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Legend of Korra, so honestly, I don't remember a lot of stuff that happened there. I just know they took shit, like, whack. They just, like, threw in a ton of stuff. But anyway. Let me put this back. What the heck is this? Oh, it's a divider. It just felt too thick to be the divider. I thought it was, like, an extra bonus thing that I'd never seen. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Avatar actually came with something else. It came with a an excerpt of a book that I didn't know existed. A book called The Rise of Kyoshi. It's like a novel that's set in the Avatar universe, and I think it's a prequel about Kyoshi. But yeah, that was really interesting. But it comes with an excerpt of that, and I'm excited to read it. Then we've got book 2 of Legend of Korra, Spirits. We've got her water bending here. Interesting. And on the back, we've got her and her Avatar state. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen this part of the show yet, so I'm literally just going to be guessing based off what I see. But really cool. This is taking so much time, but it's going to be a shorter episode, I think, this week, because it's kind of a slow week, so we can do this. And I know my nerds are going to appreciate this. If you're a gamer and you haven't watched Avatar, what are you doing with your life? we've got book 3. Sorry, I'm coughing. Got book 3, which is Change. Got her earthbending. Ooh. And then we've got her and her gay lover. Oh my god, yay! We stand gay queens. Well, bi queens, but yeah, love that. Makes me very happy. Yes, that's right. I know that part happened. I watched the very end because I was like, gay, because I just love LGBT representation. And so when I found out that Korra was bi, I was like, that's incredible. And yes, I know I just spoiled it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but just that's the incentive you need to watch this show. Honestly, really, that is most of the reason I want to watch this, is because LGBT. Like, they were one of the first kid shows to do that. Like, now we're getting more and more, like, we got Steven Universe and we're getting all this other stuff, but they were like the first thing built for kids that are like, hey, it's okay to be gay. That's awesome. It's so cool. That's honestly why I like the show so much. And then we've got her airbending in the final book, Balance. Then we've got her in the Avatar state. So I kind of like the symmetry it's got with the Avatar Collector's Edition, because these came out like a year apart. The last Airbender ones have actually been out for a while. This one just came out, so that was for the 15th anniversary, and then this literally just came out like last week or something, like last week, a couple weeks ago, something like that. So, but they brought back the Avatar state there, and it's really cool. But yeah, that's my stuff. I'm gonna start watching it. Maybe tonight, maybe not, I don't know. But I'm going to start rewatching Avatar, and then I'll watch Korra for the first time, mostly, after the first season. But, yeah. So, exciting. Long intro over with. Let's get into the games, you guys. 7 minutes in. So, as we always do, happy April. No April Fool's jokes will be made here, because I literally forgot it was April Fool's. So, I didn't plan on it, so I might come up with something on a whim, but I don't know. But happy April to you guys. With that, it's a new month, so let's recap March, talk about all the interesting games that came out then. Well, not all, but the notable ones. And let's look forward to April. Let's see what we got going on in April. So, March recap. The best game of March, as per Metacritic, was It Takes Two. So yeah, congratulations. So Bakel and I have actually been playing through this game, Lucas and I, and I think we're close to halfway through the games, maybe somewhere around there. It's so good, you guys. I literally, like, all I want to do is play that game, but we're both so busy we can never find time to play together. So we might be actually playing some more tonight, fingers crossed. But It Takes Two is an amazing co-op game. It's the best co-op game ever made, and I'm obsessed with it, and it's a really, really good game, and it might be taking my spot for Game of the Year, where we're at right now. Trying to think, there was another game that I really, really loved that I'm blanking on, that I was like, this is going to be a Game of the Year contender. I mean, it was kind of the medium, but I feel like there's another one. I don't know. But, Disco Elysium, the final cut. So this one just came out, so reviews are kind of trickling in, because it is essentially a re-release, but it's like an ultimate edition. But Disco Elysium was like number 4 on my best modern PC games list. Like I said, I did a video listing my top 25 best modern PC games, and it was like number 4. And so, something like that. It's an amazing PC game. It's one of the best PC games ever made. And now it's finally coming to consoles. It just came to consoles. It came to PlayStation and Stadia, and it's going to come to Xbox and I think Switch later this year. But it's really, really good, you guys. I started playing the final cut. Like I said, I played the original game, but I started playing the final cut. Everything is all voice now because it's a lot of reading. This is a very narrative-driven game, but it's all voice now, so you don't have to read. So it's easily playable on a TV. so you don't have to be like squinting at it, which I didn't realize until someone mentioned it. Simon Cardy of IGN, or was it Simon Cardy, or was it? Yeah, it was Simon Cardy. But yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a really, really good point. But it's fully voiced now, and they've added a new quest and all sorts of cool stuff. I'm really excited, and it's so good to be back in this world. And hopefully I can play some more tonight. Mention how many things I said I might do tonight. That's why I said might to all of them. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I have so much stuff I want to do. I bought Monster Hunter Rise, which was the most popular game of March. Look at that segue. But I haven't played it yet, because I haven't had time. I was hoping to, again, play that tonight. So, something's getting on the chopping block, let me tell you. But, yeah, I have Monster Hunter Rise, got it all installed, ready to go. And it was the most popular game of March. It's the one everybody was talking about. People are going nuts over it. I do want to dedicate some time to it when I get that said time. But those were the big March games. Most of the month, it was just sort of catch up. People were kind of vibing, getting on their backlogs. And then right at the end, boom, boom, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, the same day. They both came out the same day. And they're both really well reviewed and very popular. So, yeah, good stuff. Now let's look forward to April. Today, you guys, Outriders is out. And I told you guys in the podcast before how much I loved Outriders of the demo that I played. So I'm really excited to play this. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to jump into it right now, though. Because, like I said, there's so much I want to do. Disco Elysium, the final cut, I'm 100% playing all the way through. And that's going to take me a good chunk of time. And then, like I said, I've been grinding the Avengers, just playing a little bit every day. Just having a lot of fun with it. It's not an amazing game, but as a superhero fan, I just enjoy it so much. So I've been playing that, so I don't have a lot of time. What little free time I have, I've dedicated towards these really important things for me, like the highest of priorities. And so there's all these other sub-priorities I can't necessarily get to. But, yeah, Outriders might have to be one of them. We'll see. And then there's Returnal at the very end of the month. So we get a game at the beginning of the month, and we get a game at the end of the month, and that's it. There's some other games coming, but, the big games. So April 30th, Returnal is coming out. So this is the game from the people who made Resogun, the PS4 launch game. But no, it's not what you think it is. It's a full, AAA caliber, basically roguelike Groundhog Day game. So you're a middle-aged woman that crash lands on an alien planet, but every time she dies, she relives that experience over and over again, like Groundhog Day. So it's really interesting, and I'm really excited for it. And that one I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up and play thoroughly and review and all of that, because I'm very excited to see. I originally was like, okay, when it was first announced, I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. And when I first saw the gameplay, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be really my thing. But all the stuff since then has really convinced me. I've really gotten into roguelikes after Hades. I'm just obsessed with the genre now. So, when they started telling me more about the roguelike elements, I was like, I'm in. Okay, yes. It's also PS5 exclusive, so I'm really excited to see what they can do with the hardware without PS4 holding them back. But yeah. And so, those are the big games coming in April. Like I said, we're kind of in some slow stuff. COVID has made everything uncertain, so things just keep getting delayed. It's going to be slow, but that also means we're going to get some really awesome indie games, because there's already been this year games that I've played that are indie that I would not have if we had a jam-packed schedule. Like Valheim, I put 40 hours into that game, and I'm so busy, you guys, and I lumped 40 hours into that game in just a few weeks. So yeah, that was absolutely nuts. And there's been a Cyber Shadow, fantastic game, completely kicks my butt, but so fun. And what else have I been playing? All sorts of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have done if it weren't for that. Anyway, I talked a lot about that last week, but yeah, so kind of slow, but hoping we can get some really cool gems because of that. Some things getting showcased and spotlighted. But with that, we'll move on to the gaming news of the week. So, again, kind of a slower week, but some really interesting stuff here. First off, Elder Scrolls Online is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X in June. So, basically, the reason I wanted to highlight this is earlier today, Elder Scrolls Online hosted in a multi or not multiplayer stream, basically talking about their next expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, which is kind of like a mini one. Like, it's not like a full-on expansion, but it's kind of like an update pack, but it's got some story content in there. It's interesting. I'm kind of curious as to how big this content's going to be, like how much content is going to be here. I don't know what it's priced, but yeah. But yeah, they were talking more about it, and there they announced they were doing a next-gen version. And so I've been really wanting to get into Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know if I want to start playing now on PC, because I have it on PC, or just wait until I get my Series X, and like in this June, because I feel like that will be a good hopping on point, because I'm sure they're going to know that people are going to jump on to this in the next-gen version. That's what I did with Avengers. Like, I played a little on PC, but I didn't finish, like, never went back to it. And then I'm experiencing it now, and it's full totality on my next-gen PS5. So I think I want to hop on during there with a Series X, but we'll see. We'll see. Then we got the PlayStation Plus games for April announced. So, you know, next week it's going to be April time for, well, it's going to be the first Tuesday in April. So, yeah, let me looky here. I'm looking at the wrong page. I want to make sure because I forget the third one. Oh, yeah. So, for PS4, you guys get Zombie Army 4 Dead War. So that was the one I forgot. I've played it, actually. And it's fun. If you, like, really like Call of Duty Zombies, like, this will be a fun game for you. It's, you know, fun and wacky and just, you know, just basically a full Call of Duty Zombies game. With some interesting emphasis on sniping sometimes, because it's a spin-off of Sniper Elite, so they're really good at, like, sniper mechanics. So they want to have, like, snipery stuff in there, even though this is not a game you should have a sniper in. Like, prominently, at least. And so, yeah, it's interesting. But it's fun. Then Days Gone, which they really just want everybody to play this game, which strongly suggests to me that they're making a sequel, because this game has a cult following. Everybody who's played this game loves it, but the critics just didn't really like it, and it didn't sell well. And for various reasons, it had a lot of performance issues, and, you know, but a lot of stuff has been fixed. Like, this is a very different game than came out at launch, and people love it. And so, but PlayStation has been giving this out like candy. It was included in the PlayStation Plus collection. Like, I have the game, and now more and more I'm like, I really need to play this, because I never played it on PS4. But it's part of the PlayStation collection, so I have the game, but now it's also available with PlayStation Plus for April, so it's interesting. They really want people to play this game, and I'm excited because I was excited for this game, so I really hope they honestly do make a second, because then that makes me play this game, right? I really need to play it, but it's not super high on the priorities. But if they announce a sequel, for sure, I'm playing Days Gone before Days Gone 2. Especially because it has a PS5 patch, too. So it's optimized for the PS5. So it looks super pretty. And then, speaking of PS5, I'm so good at segues this episode. Oddworld Soulstorm is the PS5 monthly game. So we've actually known about this for quite a while, so this is no surprise. Back in the PlayStation Direct, that was pretty meh. There was an Oddworld Soulstorm trailer that said its release date of April 6th, and then they said free via PlayStation Plus. And so we knew this was going to be the monthly game, and I really doubted they would give away 2 free PlayStation 5 games, especially since, like, this is a brand new game, right? Like, this is a title worthy of good money, and they just made it free for PlayStation Plus. So yeah, I knew it was going to be a biggie, and so that was going to be the only thing we got on PS5. And then, you know, the other 2 via backwards compatibility, but that was the only native PS5 game we were going to get. But yeah, we've known about this for a while. It's been like almost a month. It was announced like pretty early on in March, but yep. So I'm excited for this game, I guess. Like, I'm intrigued, but I've never played an Oddworld game before, but this game looks high quality, so I will most likely check it out, since it will be available free with PlayStation Plus. But, you know, again, its weight on my priorities is determined by what the reviews say. The response. But yeah, maybe. And so, yeah, those are the PlayStation Plus games of the month. Then, I've got a lot to talk about here. This might take some time. So, there was an ID at Xbox and Twitch Gaming Indie Showcase this past week. And there were some really interesting announcements. So, first off, this was a 4-hour showcase. So there was a lot of A lot of content. They showed off over 60 games in this place. But, sorry, let me grab some water real quick. But, suspense has been drawn, and I'm losing my train of thought. But it went by so fast, but it took so long, where it was just like, this is really being drawn out. Like, they could have done this in like smaller, more focused segments, and it would be much better. But we got a lot of interesting stuff going. The people who made Guacamelee announced Nobody Saves the World, and it looks really, really cool. It's kind of got like, it's like an action RPG with roguelike elements. It is not a roguelike, but it has some roguelike elements, where you basically can transform into different things to help you survive a situation, and it's very hard to explain. Go watch the trailer. It looks really, really cool. I'm trying to see through the ones that I was really interested in. So the developers of, it's not listed on this article, so I gotta remember. The developers of Titan Souls, which was a really cool like Soulsborne indie game a while back. Like, it was one of like the first Soulsborne copies. It's not a copy because it is its own game, but very clearly Dark Souls inspired game. I think it came out in like 2014 or something like that. But this is their next game. It's called Death's Door. It's an action adventure that's set in a world where crows are in charge of reaping the souls of the dead. And so it's still got some Souls elements. It's less obvious this time. You fight some different bosses, and you do that sort of stuff. It's very challenging, but watch the trailer, and it does look distinct. It looks different. We got a new map for Among Us, and it's making me consider reinstalling the game. But I haven't played Among Us in forever. But yeah, they're getting the new airplane map, which is really big. Like, it has a bunch of new features. It'll be really interesting to see. 22 of the 60 games are launching day one with Game Pass. They're Art of the Rally, which is a really interesting. It's like a cathartic racing game. Super interesting. Astria Ascending, which has the composer of Final Fantasy XII. So that's high talent. Backbone, Boyfriend Dungeon, Craftopia, Dead Static Drive, Edge of Eternity, Hello Neighbor 2, Library of Arena, Little Witch in the Woods, Moonglow Bay, Narita Boy, Nobody Saves the World, Omno, Recompile, Sable, She Dreams Elsewhere, Stalker 2, The Ascent, Undungeon, Way to the Woods, and Wild at Heart. So, a lot of really big name indies there, and some really interesting, cool ones as well that we might, again, not have noticed if it weren't available through a subscription. And so, yeah, really interesting. And over 60 games are headed to Xbox Series X and S. Let's go. Adios. Aerial Knights Never Yield, which I'm super excited for. Airport for Aliens Run by Dogs. Alba, a wildlife adventure. Alchemic Cutie. Among Us, Art of Rally, Astria Ascending. Atrio, The Dark Wild. Blaster Master 03. Chivalry 2. Cloud Gardens, Clousy. Craftopia. Dark Alliance, Death's Door, Demon Turf, Despelote, Echo Generation, Enlisted, XO1, Exomecha, Griftlands, Hello Neighbor 2, Iron Corbo, Kung Fu Janitor. It's a crazy game. Night Squad 2, Lake, Last Oasis, Last Stop. Really, really cool game. Also published by Annapurna. That's all I gotta say. Lawn Mowing Sim. It's literally a lawn mowing simulator. Little Witch in the Woods, Loot River, Lost Avalon, Lost Eidolons, Mad Streets, Moonglow Bay, Narita Boy, Nobody Saves the World, Omno, Onsen Master, Princess Farmer, Rust, Second Extinction, Song of Iron, Soup Pot, Space Lines from the Far Out, Stalker 2, Super Space Club, The Ascent, The Big Con, The Forest Cathedral, The Last Stop, The Rift Breaker, The Wild at Heart, 12 Minutes, Void Train, and We Are the Caretakers. Ooh, had to cool down my throat there. It was so hot from all the speaking. Yeah, I think it did Last Stop twice. Yeah, it did. Last Stop and The Last Stop. I don't think that was another game. So they might have listed that twice. But a lot of indie games shown off here. And I highly suggest you go watch it. Like, it is kind of a slog to sit through sometimes, but some really interesting moments are in there. And I think you'll find some indie games to get excited about. Go indie games. Next up, Call of Duty 2021 is reportedly called Vanguard, and it's set in World War II. So this is reported to be made by Sledgehammer. After skipping their turn last year, it seems they are back to take up the development cycle for the new Call of Duty. And it looks to be maybe a sequel to their last game, because back in 2017, I believe, they released Call of Duty World War II. It was the new World War II game, which I thought was pretty good. I know some people consider it to be one of the weaker Call of Duties, but I enjoyed it. But I'm also not a serious Call of Duty player. I just play casually. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll get another World War II game. I think there's still stories that can be told with World War II, but it'll be interesting to see what they do after the kind of mixed response to their last World War II game. And also, they had a lot of people leave the studio, and so they have a lot of new talent, which could be really good or really bad. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah. And then finally, sad news, Back 4 Blood has been delayed to October 12th, 2021. And yeah, that's sad. It was supposed to come out on June 22nd. I'm really excited. This is literally Left 4 Dead 3, guys. The only reason it's not Left 4 Dead 3 is because they don't own the IP anymore. But Turtle Rock Studios, they're making Left 4 Dead 3. And it's going to be amazing. And they're also doing an open beta this summer. So we'll all be able to try it anyway when it was originally supposed to come out. We don't know if it's going to be June 22nd yet, but it'd be really cool if they did that. And then October 12th could be interesting because then they can bank off of the Halloween stuff. Someone pointed that out on IGN, and I was like, that's a really good point. So they can kind of bank themselves into some spooky stuff because, you know, people want stuff for Halloween. So I think that'll really drive sales. But yeah, super excited about this game. Sad it got delayed, but I'm glad it got delayed so that if that's what it needed to become its best version of itself. So yeah, another delay. Sad. Now let's talk about the games coming this week. Not a lot, but like I said, we got the heavy hitter at the start. We got Outriders for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Google Stadia. It's out right now, guys. Outriders' brutal and bloody combat combines frenetic gunplay, violent powers, and deep RPG systems to create a true genre hybrid. I'm super excited for this game. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to have the time for it. But yeah, play this game, guys. I realize that I put this thing on when I'm not talking to anybody, so there's no reason to use the headphones. I'm a weirdo. But Outriders, really excited. Hope you guys are too. It's also free with Game Pass, so if you play on Xbox, you already have it. It's awesome. Then we've got Oddworld Soulstorm for PS5, PS4, and PC on Tuesday. This is another pretty big one. Oddworld Soulstorm represents a big visual and cinematic leap, with intelligent new mechanics and twisted new devices which enable highly explosive deviousness. This is a dark parable that tells an epic tale of a volatile society pushed to its limits. Yeah, like I said, I've never played an Oddworld game, but I'll probably check this one out because A, it's free for me, and it just looks really interesting. I'm intrigued by the gameplay and the looks and everything, so excited to check that out. Also on Tuesday, Star Wars Republic Commando is coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch, finally! Welcome to the Clone Wars. Chaos has erupted throughout the galaxy. As leader of an elite squad of Republic Commandos, your mission is to infiltrate, dominate, and ultimately annihilate the enemy. So, this is an old game. They've been bringing back a ton of like 90s, 2000s Star Wars games. Just because they've been getting really into Star Wars video games now. So they've just been re-releasing a ton of these over the last few years, literally. They just keep like crumbling them out. But this is technically already on Xbox, so that's why they don't have it. It's available via backwards compatibility. So it came out on the original Xbox, and so they made it backwards compatible on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. So that's why it's not coming out on Xbox, because it's technically already there. Even though this is kind of touched up a little bit with Xbox backwards compatibility program, you can do that as well. So I'm sure they already updated the Xbox version. But yeah, so sorry, I was checking my messages. Those are the games coming this week. Like I said, not a lot, but Outriders is sure to take up your time. What we've been doing off hours, I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been I've been doing a lot. I've been working hard, trying to get back in the groove. So, like I said, I've been playing Marvel's Avengers all the time. It's so fun to me. I love just getting more lore of my favorite superheroes. It's not a great game. It's very repetitive, but I'm just having fun with it. Just trying to increase my character's power level. I just beat the campaign a couple days ago, or yesterday actually. And so now I'm finally getting into the end game content. I'm doing like the little shield submissions. I didn't jump straight from that campaign into the Kate Bishop one because I'm like, well, I want to find out this kind of sub story about Maria Hill and all this other stuff because that was there at the start, I think. I don't know. But it felt like a natural way to go. So I haven't started the Kate Bishop stuff yet, but she can appear in my party, which is annoying because I'm like, you're not canon yet! You're not my canon! But, oh well. So yeah, I've been playing that. And then, like I said, I've been playing It Takes Two. Love it. And Disco Elysium, the final cut. Love it. And so, let me take a drink here. As far as other media, I just put out a review for Bad Trip, which is a really, really funny hidden camera comedy film on Netflix, starring Eric Andre. Absolutely hilarious. The hardest I've laughed to a movie in a pretty good while. So yeah, in this cold, dark world that we live in right now, it's nice to have that really funny movie to put a smile on your face for an hour and a half. So yeah, go watch it, especially if you like Borat. So I watched that on Netflix, and then I watched the third way season finale of Superman and Lois because it's going on a hiatus after episode 5, which was the episode I watched. Because of COVID, it delayed production. There's 15 episodes in the season, so we only got a third of it out. But this is a little finale, and so I watched it. Super excited to see more. I love that show a lot. And I watched other stuff too, but those were the big ones. And so with that, that's it, guys. Like I said, it was going to be a shorter episode. That's why I did the full unboxing of hold on, Legend of Korra and Avatar, which are still so cool, guys. They're so cool. I can't wait to dig into this, especially when I get to Korra and the episodes I haven't seen. I also don't think I've watched Avatar all the way through. It's just been in big spurts. So I'm excited to just do all that. Because I started Avatar rewatch when it released on Netflix, but I didn't get very far. Now I'm just committed because I own them. I'm like, gonna do this. I'm gonna consume it. But they look so pretty. But thank you guys for being here. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. You guys just taking the time to be with me. It's amazing. Love you guys. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.